and welcome to the Talk to Me America show, where the world wants to know what you have to say. So call me later and tell them like it is. Greetings, welcome everyone. It is Thursday night at 7 p.m. Central Time. Time for another Talk to Me America live call-in talk show. Wow, we got lots of friends here tonight. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Limited access, welcome. She's usually asleep by this time, right? Truth, True Sanity. Slop Dilly Bop, welcome, welcome. Pastor Chatelet, as always, thank you so much for being here. And for the library coin, let's see, Iceburn, Ree! And of course, on YouTube, we have Bruin Backhand. I'm sure that someone will join us shortly on YouTube as well, hopefully. And indeed, one day closer to the weekend. Thank you for clicking on my little acre of the internet today. Hope you guys are all well. Trying real hard to keep up with all the shit that's going on in the world and everything like that. I actually agree with Prince, especially the more that I do this and dive into shit and look at stuff. I don't believe our bodies were meant to take on the entire world. So I'm glad that I'm able to turn this shit off every once in a while, let me tell ya. And I actually do it when absolutely necessary, of course. You know, you just feel really tired and everything like that. Thank you, Limited Access. Appreciate you being here. In fact, are you married, my friend? Somebody came on my feed 2 weeks ago or something like that, said they were looking for a woman like you, and I know that you like do canning and you take care of yourself and you're into prep and you're kind of I don't want to say minimalistic, but as far as like possessions and things like that and like high maintenance and stuff like that. I'm trying to be tactful here in my own way. Oh, okay. 35 years now. Okay, too bad. I'm so sorry. No more matchmaking for me. Of course, I asked first. Thank you, True Sanity. Thanks for that one time that you let me call and do a drunken rant. Anytime, anytime. You can do that today, later if you like as well. And of course, thank you for the support. If you do want to support me, I've got, you can buy me coffee now. I've got a link down below if you're on Odysee. Every little bit helps. In fact, you guys have been so generous. I'm almost this close to buying a chair that I can actually sit here and do work for 8 hours or 9 hours a day and not have a either sore ass, a sleep ass, or can't walk the next day. Bushlight Apple is amazing, by the way. Okay, I'll take your word for it. Iceburn, friend around and find out. That's great, that's great. Rewind show or something? Oh. Well, I can do that. Bruin Backhand says, LOL, LDG is running a matchmaking service now. Hey, everybody needs somebody. And, I guess when you're as happy as I am, I want everybody to be happy in that way. What can I tell you? And basically all it takes is for people that are willing to work together and have a lot of the same interests, things like that. And just to hopefully not make that sound so bad there, Limited Access, your husband is a very lucky man. All right. Thank you, everybody, for being here tonight. I do appreciate it. All right. And not really a matchmaking service. Just I had somebody call in and ask. I try to help everybody out if I can. Or not call in, but they had mentioned something about this is what they were looking for. And I've actually seen, have been acquainted with two or three people in the chat that seem to fit that bill. So, hey, why not hook them up? You just never know. They might conceive the next absolute genius or Einstein or somebody that saves the world. You'll never know. You just never know. I'm glad you realize that, Limited Access. I hope he does too. Okay. All right. And I'm going to speak to the ladies here. I know that there's gentlemen here that actually agree with this wholeheartedly, but I am speaking to as many ladies as I can possibly speak to at this point. Those of whom are actual ladies, they don't identify, any of that stuff. I mean women, okay? Women! Like me and you, some of you, who have fought for hundreds of years now, and some have died, to be their own people, to be able to have autonomy, to be able to have the right to their own property, their own bodies, I you know, as far as that goes. And I have a flash for all of these women out there that are going crazy over Roe v. Wade. This is not the thing that's going to take us into the Handmaid's Tale. Now, of course, I'm with Ben Shapiro. Read another frickin' book, okay? It's not the only thing in the world, but if you don't want to see that happen, Roe v. Wade doesn't really have anything to do with that. Space Pirate Yvonne, thank you so much. Boobs in a womb, that's right. So stop with the dramatics over it. In fact, you should be realizing by now that all you have to do, if you absolutely must protest or must get permission to kill, you just have to go to your state representatives now. You don't have to bother going all the way up to Washington, D.C. and all this other stuff and everything like that. You get to do it locally if you want. So please, get over that, because that's not going to be what takes us into Handmaid's Tale. All right? But you know what is, though? You know what is going to end up taking us into the Handmaid's Tale? Shit like this. According to some of the things I've read over the last couple of days, I'm seeing, and of course Matt Walsh tweeted it, I believe, female in the dictionary has now changed. They've changed the definition of female, of relating to or being the sex that typically has the capacity to bear young or produce eggs. Are they including reptiles in that aspect? Because we don't actually produce eggs. We're born with our eggs, if you know anything about biology. All right. And of course, the first thing they come up with is not even human or anything like that. In a field of milkweed, I watched a female monarch. How did you know? And then, of course, B, having a gender identity that is the opposite of male. Well, no shit. The characteristics of girls, women, or female sex exhibiting femaleness. That's where they want to blur it. And of course, the first thing was just a word salad sandwich, the first definition. But, you know, they literally now have changed the definition of female. Which, again, this is the beginning of it, if you will. If they can't even define what it is, then they can make it up as they go along, as far as that goes. And then, of course, those that have the capacity to produce eggs, as they say, or produce offspring, as they say, will be there solely for that purpose. Isn't that pretty much the premise of this Handmaid's Tale crap that I keep hearing about? I haven't even seen the video or read the book or whatever it was about that. All right, so then you got this. I'm going to show you a few things here. Then it goes on with stuff like this here. Transgender swimmer Leah Thomas nominated for NCA 2022 Woman of the Year Award. How many years in a row is that now? That they've only been a woman for a year or so, and all of a sudden they're Woman of the Year? Let's see, next one. 36 attractive transgender models. Beautiful trans. Carmen Carrera. Amanda Lepore. Andreja Pejic. I don't know about that. Isis King. These are all trans models, if you will. Isis King. Candy Darling. I think that's Candy Darling. Octavia Saint Laurent. Harry Neff. Interesting how they made that a unisex name. Caroline Cossey. I don't have any idea who half of these people are, really. April Ashley. Harisu. Jamie Clayton. Roberta Close. Nong Toom. I mean, we can go on and on and on and on and on here. Then you got... Oh, not that. This is the very first Playboy model. Trans Playboy model. So they've taken over men's magazines as well. Trans volleyball player wants to play for Brazil in the Olympics. There's no mistaking this. Right in the center of the picture here. I don't think I capture my pointer, but I think you all see this. The first trans Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition model. Here's an American USA powerlifting trans person that is suing because they're not allowing her to participate, supposedly. All right. But again, this is the kind of thing. These people right here will never, ever procreate. Ever. Okay? And they're taking a lot of women's autonomy away from them. I mean, a lot of these people are just smashing the women's records just with no effort almost at all. Let me see what my people are saying here. Laura is tad glitchy right now. Or is it just me? Probably my shitty internet. I've got everything running as best as I can here. I apologize for that. Salty Space Pirate Ivan likes the Playboy model. Do you? Is he messing with me? Is he messing with me? Exactly, Salty. They are men with bazongas. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. There seems to be... Well, I'll get to that in a minute. Okay, so again, you know, none of these people are ever going to get pregnant. They're never going to be able to procreate or anything like that, like actual women do. Or as they say, people with the potential. Why would you want to... we went from contracting everything to making everything have 10 names now. Why? All right. And of course, this is happening because a lot of most women aren't fighting against this stuff. They just let it, they've basically been told, deal with it or else. Or else what? Like I say, this is another thing that tells me, because of the fact that they're not going to be able to procreate or anything like that, that women, or those that are capable of, will be used solely for that purpose. Because you have men now taking over women's everything. Our awards, our pageants. In fact, did I miss one? Yeah, I think I missed one. There's one on here. I hope I didn't take it off of there. No. No. I was like, the one that was that's on here that I think it was the New Mexico pageant. She's Miss New Mexico now. Really? So they're getting all of our awards. They're taking all of our first place prizes, everything that we've worked for and everything like that. And and nobody's saying anything? Well, some are, but I'll get to that in a minute. It's literally, to me, this is something that I thought of while I was showering today. It's literally almost like as if we're going back to the days of Shakespeare. Now, if anybody knows anything about Shakespeare theater, or the history thereof, at that particular time, women weren't allowed to even go to the plays or the shows, much less act in them. So, of course, any female part had to be played by a man. So, yeah. So it's like, it's almost, if you wanted to be comedic about it, it's almost like as if everybody wants to be Uncle Milty now. You know, you see how strangely my brain works. I think of all these different angles and everything like that, and all this stuff comes together for me, and sometimes it goes, woo! Alright, but yeah, it literally is almost like as if it's back in the days of Shakespeare. You know, even as close in history now as like the late 1800s and the early 1900s, women were not even allowed to smoke cigarettes or own their own property. Not that that's a bad thing, but at the same token, why? It wasn't considered feminine, I would venture to say, as far as that goes. Hello, Raynoth. Hello, Rougarou. Too busy taking care of our family that we birthed. Yeah. Where are all the women wanting to get into the guy sport teams? There's a few. There are a few. I did find a few, but I'm actually talking more about, because they're not dominating anything. They're not taking anything away from anybody as far as that goes. I think there was one that won a bicycle. I don't even remember what it was exactly. But they're actually way fewer and far between than all of the male to female that I encountered on the internet. And believe me, I only gave you a little smattering of what I found. And I'll tell you what my conclusion is after that, in a minute, about that too. So everybody, welcome, welcome, welcome. You want one of these? I use mine and it's a butt saver. Yeah, I probably will need it after, let's see, purple. Oh, okay. Yeah, I probably actually need that after I get my chair. And that was actually something I'm almost saved up enough to buy the exact chair that I need so that I will be able to work a little bit harder in here and a little bit longer. Maybe even get to do another stream. Anyways. Now, it was like I said before, even back in the 1800s, they weren't allowed to smoke cigarettes, they weren't allowed to own property, run businesses, or even get outside jobs or vote. Now, a few women did those things anyway, but they were looked upon as pariahs and sometimes ladies of ill repute. And if they had men or were married, the men were viewed as too weak to provide for their families. And among other things, of course. Ice burn. Shame on you. That's cool. Actually, I like that. Skateboard gals are pissed. Are they? Lord Slade! I'm doing great, love. Thank you for being here. Alright. Like I say, the women were looked at as pariahs. They were always looked down upon. And I would venture to say that also, too, that it left them open to quite a bit of sexual harassment. You know, the guys like to slap the asses and things like that. But what could you say, you know? It was actually bad enough that they were there in the first place to these people. By opening their mouths, they probably would have gotten fired or some shit. You know how it is, okay? It happens. Alright, now, from what I can tell, over half of the government is all women. The workplace is almost all women now, or over half all women. And aren't most of the OnlyFans and TikToks women now? So, yeah, I don't feel oppressed. I'm sitting here talking to you all now, as far as that goes. So, I'll tell you a little story. In as late as the 50s, 60s, and 70s, my own grandmother had her own real estate and insurance business. Little office over on 7th Avenue and down in South Miami or whatever it was. Which not only was still unheard of back then, but in order for her to get business, she actually literally had to hire a man and make it look like he was in charge. Alright, but that's not the end of the story as far as that goes. And this is why I'm saying, and this is one of the reasons why I'm kind of comparing this to what's going on right now, is that this particular man she had working for her actually almost got her arrested for some real estate fraud bullshit that he pulled through the office. And he thought that she was dumb enough and naive and stupid enough to fall for whatever it was he was doing. And that he would get away with it because it was her company. And she would take the fall. Okay? So, thankfully it didn't work out that way. But you can see the kind of advantage that a lot of men that especially want to be women now, supposedly, or try to act like women, will take. That's the advantage that they'll take. Especially of sympathetic women. And I'm seeing it with some of these sympathetic feminist men. They literally, if you really spoke to them and you really got the actual truth out of them, they're only hanging around so that they can get laid. Which, why they would put themselves through that kind of work, I'll never know. Not to mention the fact that they're not all that great looking, most of them. Sorry, but my opinion. And this actually, like I said before, this is the kicker for me. And this is what makes me think that we're going to be headed into that particular situation if we're not careful. Because I've always said, and this has always rang true, is that if you make yourself into a victim, bullies, narcissists, sometimes people in general, but definitely opportunists will always be happy to oblige you. If she smokes, she pokes. Lois Griffin. She's nasty. She's naughty. Marge Simpson, if they smoke, they poke. Now, which one said it? They probably all did. Let's see, who else is with us tonight? All right. Once again, welcome everybody. Don't forget to share, please. I'm only able to handle 2 or 3 social medias at a time. So the more I can get from everybody else. I actually have accounts on all of these things, but I haven't even had a chance to upload last week's video or live show after they split it in 2 on Odysee. I just finished splicing it together today, so I got to upload. I'm going to end up having to upload 2 shows at once today or tonight later. So thank you for sharing that, Iceburn. So, but excuse me. Us women actually have come a long way, baby. But now bio men are stepping in, taking our positions, and we women are being told, don't say anything, or else. And this is where I come to, or else what? You will have at that point already ruined their chances at winning whatever contest you've beat them at. That they should have rightly won themselves. Ruined any chances of a better life for them because of that win and all the work that they had done. Or even ruined their hard work and their lives for merely allowing this to happen. So yeah, or else what? You're going to ruin our lives even worse. This is why I say we, you know, and what is this shit that they actually seem to have more rights than we do? After they come in and conquer our spaces and say, you better not say anything or else. Like I said, or else what? You're going to ruin our lives even worse than you are? And I also, too, can't believe, since when have women kept their mouths shut about this kind of stuff? This is what we've been about for the last over 100 years now. The right to vote, the right to our own autonomy, the right to be able to own houses, the right to be able to have jobs, the right to be able to have businesses. We didn't keep our mouths shut about that. It was always the patriarchy wouldn't let us do that. So why is this going through? Why are we keeping our mouths shut about that? Like I said, or else what? In fact, we wouldn't even be in some of the top positions that we're in right now today had we kept our mouths shut about this shit. Alright? So, this is why I say we're going to end up like the Handmaid's Tale again. I had a picture of it. It was a bunch of people with the red things on and everything like that. And if we don't speak up and say, at least, no, you can't have our spaces. You can't have our rights. You know, we sympathize with your plight, but you won't take our rights from us, and I'll be damned if I'm going to let anybody in that situation tell me how to live or how to be a woman. All right? No. You go live your life. You give your advice to the people who are living your types of life, but don't come at me with that shit. Because you don't know, you won't ever know. Hiya, sweet Rosa. I told you we would have more people on YouTube soon. Welcome to the show. Appreciate you being here. All right. I was going to say also, too, it's a shame how many of these women have also said that they don't need men to help out. Because I do see a lot of men that are cheesed off about this as well. Mainly because of the fact that they just don't know anymore. And what can I tell you? I get that. I do. I get that. But they don't say anything because they've been told to shut the fuck up long time ago. Not to mention that they see that most of the women aren't even fighting against this shit. So why should they? Especially after being told to shut up and that they are not needed. And because they don't have uteruses, they don't get any opinions on any of this stuff. They don't have any say-so. So I was gonna say, and the thing is that people are actually literally expecting their help on this, and we can't. In fact, for this situation, we cannot depend on the men for this. They didn't do it the last time. They didn't help us out that much the last time we did all of our fighting for our autonomy and our vote and everything like that. And most of them that I've talked to have told me, hey, why should I stick my neck out when most women are either telling them to shut up or they have no right to the opinions or are not fighting back on this shit themselves? Okay? So yeah, women, we are literally bringing this Handmaid's Tale bullshit to life ourselves. Not me. You hear me bitching about this. You hear me saying absolutely not. Alright? Now, don't like it? Like I said before, do something about it. Please do something about it. Even if it's just talking to your friends, and you don't have to do it hatefully. It's not about that. In fact, the message right now that I'm getting from all of this is that no matter how hard women work or fight for their equality, or equity, if you want to call it that too, or their equality rights, men will always be dominant, and that they even make better women than women do. That's fucking ridiculous. That's just not the case. It's not the case. And actually, here is one lady that was also nominated for Woman of the Year at this NCAA thing or whatever it was for the swimmers or whatever. Listen to what she has to say. Oh, come on. I had it pulled up already. It's loading. It's loading. Her name is Riley Gaines. There we go.
I mean, we have an NCAA Woman of the Year who spent 95% of their life as a male. It doesn't add up. It's incredibly just insulting. Think of all the athletes at UPenn, the deserving female athletes who did not get this nomination, and Thomas did after quite literally only 1 year. Woman of the Year, it makes sense because it's been 1 year Thomas has spent as a female. And so, yeah, it's insulting. It's a punch in the gut. It's a slap to the face, and it's a total regression of what Title IX stands for. And ironically enough, I brought this. It's a letter I got from the NCAA today. I got it actually as I was walking out of the door to come to the studio, but I picked it up. It says that this award is rooted in Title IX. I'll just pause there for a second. It's rooted in Title IX, and as the 50th anniversary of Title IX, this year's NCAA Woman of the Year Award provides an important opportunity to honor incredible women and reflect on the impact of women on intercollegiate sports. And I just read this, and honestly, like you said, I just laughed because that's what we're doing at this point, is laughing at women.
Exactly. And I'm not disagreeing with you on his space pirate, Yvonne. We are doing this to ourselves, and you're saying put the blame where it's due, liberal white women. I don't see a whole lot of Republican women saying a whole bunch of shit either. Most women right now are keeping their heads down. Okay? The best thing most women can do, I guess, in this case, is just be woman. Be your woman self. Don't allow them to take over, if you can. But you saw just a smattering, just a small smattering of all the ones that are actually taking over everything. Our magazine covers, our awards, our sports. So yes, you're right. I'm not disagreeing with you. And yes, I'm putting blame where it's at. And that's anyone who's not speaking up against this. I don't care what side you're on. You should know that by now. Okay. So, now don't get me wrong, okay? I'm not trying to bash these people. Alright? I'm not saying that these folks have no rights. And I'm not saying that it's okay to disrespect them and all of that. What I am saying is if they want to do all of these things that they want, the sports and all that other stuff, they should have their own leagues. They should have their own contests. They should have their own awards. Because in doing my research, and like I said before, what I showed you was just a small smattering of the amount of people that actually are in this and do this. There are way more trans athletes and other than any of us actually, than even I even imagined. They actually seem to me to have enough of them and growing. They are growing that they can actually have their own contests, sport categories, and even pageants. So my question is, why would you want to take that away from someone who was just as oppressed as you claim to be now, which you're not? Why would you want to take that away? Alright? Women have paid their fucking dues. We're in these positions now. Alright? They suffered and died for us to be able to vote. To be able to own property. Be able to have businesses. Things like that. Be able to do what I'm doing right now. So yes, you guys are stunning and brave. Stunning and brave. For being who you think you should be. Openly. No problem. But you are not stunning and brave at all. If that means taking anything away from anyone else, including, but not limited to, the right to speak up about losing those rights. And don't even get me started on how you motherfuckers are making us look around the world. Do you seriously not want anyone to ever take women seriously again? I'm going to tell you right now, these folks right here, they don't represent me. And I morbidly and wholeheartedly do not appreciate the fact that anyone would even try to rep me in this way. It's like I said, does everybody want to be fucking Uncle Milty now? And if you don't know who he is, look him up. He was one of the very first epitomes of making fun of women. He was funny as shit, but some of his comedy could be misconstrued. Chevy, welcome to the show on YouTube. Masterpiece of Nature, Pearl of Womanhood, Voltaire. Leah Catherine Thomas, a swimmer at the University of Pennsylvania, a transgender woman in sports, is not a pearl of womanhood. Thank you. Thank you. That's why I say, I'm not positive, but I'm pretty sure that you're male. And that's why I said, even the men are cheesed off at this. And I get it. Believe me, I get it. Two swords don't usually want to cross, okay? To put it politely. Alright? So, like I say, you folks, what I've got on the screen here, you folks will never fucking speak for me and my clan of women. I guess we can be thankful, so far, that they haven't changed the definition of woman yet. But it looks like they have added to it. There wasn't a B on here the other day when I looked it up. and it was on the show, because I've been mentioning this for quite a few times now. 1A, an adult female person. But then they added B, a woman belonging to a particular category as by birth, residence, membership, or occupation, usually used in combination, such as councilwoman. I noticed they used it in combination with the occupation, not by birth. So they couldn't. And of course they added 2, womankind, 3, distinctively female nature, womanliness. Well, we already know that guys can have that. We see it. I showed it to you. So again, the Merriam-Webster's not that far away from changing the definition of this as well as female. All right, rant break. Let's see, what was I going to show you guys? Oh yes. For my gentlemen out there, and actually, I enjoyed this. So, Pastor Shadley, should women be allowed to talk? Yes, of course. Why not? Milk truck driver. Maybe Ben is at his alt form, though. Who's the milk truck driver? Is Ben Shapiro a woman? No, I don't think so. Why would you want to do that, Space Pirate Ivan? Repeal the right for women to vote. Why would you want to do that? Yes, that's true. You're probably right. I don't know why. It's not like these fucking people can do anything. Alright. Okay, I thought this was rather interesting, and I'm seeing this happen more and more, which is it's actually a good thing and a bad thing. It's a bad thing because it has to happen, and it's a good thing because people are starting to fight back about this shit.
Yo, they got guns drawn. They got guns drawn.
Watch how many people walk out of the store.
That is whack, Get the fuck out! Stay away!
I counted 10. Did you guys count any less or more? Space Pirate Yvonne says that they vote emotionally. Not always. Not always. And that doesn't always go against them either. Alright. Like I said, once again, this is a good thing and a bad thing, in my opinion, mainly because the bad thing is that it has to happen at all. But that was a little tiny little cigar shop. Anybody that's ever been in one of those cigar shops, you pretty much got a little one. It's not very big at all. In fact, you don't even have 10 feet in between the wall and the counters and stuff like that. And their walls are filled with all kinds of things. They might have a little, what do they call those in the back? I'm sure you guys would know. That's not always the case, Space Pirate Yvonne. Feelings are more important than facts. No vote for you. Okay. I think that a combination of the two, depending on how you combine them, works pretty well as well. There's some things you need to have a feeling about. There's some things you need to have facts about. That's just the way life works. I'm going to say, put it this way, no matter how much this guy seems to be the right person, if I've got this gut feeling that, that may not be the wrong decision, man. Your gut's not wrong usually. I've noticed that over the years. Your gut is never wrong. Yeah, me too. I've never let anybody tell me how to vote or what to do. If I didn't like someone's policies that they were getting on, or if I didn't like it. In fact, I'm actually to the point now where they're so at each other and always telling the other side, well, this other person's gonna do this if you vote for them, and doesn't tell you what they're gonna do. I'm over it. I don't give a shit what they claim to stand for at that point. If all they can do is point at the other guy and not tell me what you're going to do, I won't vote. You're not going to get my vote. Okay? That's just all there is to it. And I say, that's why I say majority of these people now is just at each other's throat and always telling everybody how bad the other side is. That's gossip to me. And that doesn't get you anywhere. It doesn't. Better not be SSPI. I know where you live. Okay. So the good thing about it also too is, like I say, people are fighting back with this stuff. I mean, because those 10 people could have robbed him completely blind, messed up all of his stuff and everything like that. And of course they say, oh, well, they have insurance. Well, what they don't realize is that once you make a claim like that, you don't have insurance anymore. In fact, you may not even have a business to have any insurance on after that at all. So no, don't give me this bullshit about, oh, they have insurance, because insurance does everything in its power not to pay you. And if you do have a claim like that, they do everything in their power not to cover you anymore. So don't let people get away with that bullshit, because that's not the case. That's not true. All right. Okay, now I don't know if anybody really covered this next thing I'm getting ready to talk about here. But this is another example of one of the things I always say. If you let people talk long enough, they will tell you exactly who they are, and usually exactly the things that they've done. I mean, sometimes you don't even have to be like inquisitive or anything. They'll just bleh. They'll throw it up on you. It'll be like, whoa. So Chevy says yes with junk. Okay, awesome. So yeah, I can tell by what you said there that you're very cheesed off about this as well. Okay, I'm going to turn on the phone lines now in case anybody wants to call and interrupt or talk about this themselves. I know people have lots to say about this. This has been going around for a long time, and I know that people aren't appreciating this. I don't appreciate being represented this way. All right, on to John Bolton. This is something that came across my feed a couple of days ago, and I thought, well, I'll be jiggered. And of course, we know this guy actually has a book to sell after he got fired. And when I see what he says here, it doesn't surprise me in the least. I was actually surprised that Trump hired this asshole in the first place. Let's see what he has to say, though. Let me see.
It's a once-in-a-lifetime occurrence.
I don't know that I agree with you. To be fair, with all due respect, one doesn't have to be brilliant to attempt a coup.
I disagree with that. As somebody who has helped plan coup d'etat,
Yeah.
not here, but, you know.
Oh, wait. What did he just say?
Have to be brilliant to attempt a coup.
So he calls
I disagree
Trump
with that.
dumb.
As somebody who has helped plan coup d'etat,
Yeah.
not here, but, you know, other places, it takes a lot of work. And that's not what he did. It was...
Someone who has planned a coup d'etat, but not here, not here. He had to make sure that we knew that, which usually, in that case, methinks thou protesteth too much. So while Tapper tries to again convince his listeners that Trump is not only stupid, but smart enough to plan and execute a coup, like they keep trying to tell everyone that January 6th was, Bolton, who nobody could figure out why Trump hired him in the first place, admitted that he's worked on other coups. Really now? Imagine that. And he had the wherewithal to make sure that we knew that it wasn't here, though. It wasn't here. Which, what, makes it okay? It wasn't here. And usually if you have to say something like that, you know damn well it ain't true. So what do you want to bet this guy had something to do with trying to oust Trump? And again, was he fired? He got busted, obviously. That's my take on it, especially after he admitted something like that. So, how else would he know how intelligent you have to be in order to do something like that? Alright, the phone lines are open. You can tell me what you guys think about any of the stuff that I've been talking about or whatever else is going on. If you want to talk to me about something or cover something. Drunk rant, I don't care. I'm on YouTube, but I don't really care about that either. I've been kicked off twice already. I'm not really worried about it. My main goal and function is to get this freedom of speech out there. And I'm pretty sure I'm talking to the little people. There's no elites here, are there? I don't think there is. I'm not. I'm for sure not. In fact, I own a 20 and a 25-year-old car, and for the 2 years that they had everybody locked down and everything like that and shut everything down, I almost lost my house. There we go. First caller of the evening. You're on the air. Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
It's limited access.
Limited access. Welcome to the show, and thank you so much for calling.
You're welcome. I had to take my phone out because there's like a drag here. So I'm listening to you. Can't hear me. Are you hearing me okay and I'm not bouncing back?
Yeah, no, you're fine. As long as you just mute the feed because there is a delay.
Okay, yeah. I like bouncing back. Yeah, hey, well, our rights away because we're not giving them. You know, a lot of us women out here, we don't give a shit about a bunch of that other crap. We got other crap to deal with. We got kids. We got grandkids. We have adult children we have to take care of. Adult husbands that act like children we have to take care of. We got to do our thing. We got to do our thing.
Exactly.
Get this all together. My husband says, as long as we got the roof over our head, the electricity on, everything's good here, spend whatever you want, babe. Okay. There we go.
Yep, I agree.
That's what I'm doing.
I agree.
Although he keeps seeing me stack up the jars, and he's like, are you sure we need all that? I'm like, yes.
You'll be thanking me later.
Exactly. Canning season's coming up, and a year ago, there were no cans on the shelves. You were lucky to find a box of cans.
Indeed.
You were lucky. I'm not playing. I've watched the price of all this stuff in Pillsbury and General Mills. I used to work for them. The prices of their goods, and they own like a sixth of the world's food because they bought it. I was there when they did. I was an accountant when they bought all this stuff. And the prices on their stuff is just, oh my God. I'm like, how in the hell are you staying in business? Because people like that food, and they're going to keep paying it until they don't pay it anymore.
Yeah, and then the government will just bail them out like they've been doing all of these companies. Oh, they're too big to fail.
Well, they were afraid that when I was working for them back in 2001 about a monopoly, because General Mills was going to make a monopoly of several different companies. So General Mills had to sell off some of these smaller companies to another company so they didn't have a monopoly, but now they do.
Mm-hmm.
So
they always find a way around it.
Companies, yeah, a lot of these food companies out there, and I know because I work for General Mills and I work for Pillsbury, and they have a huge monopoly. Folks, if you can't can it yourself, which I would suggest doing, get it on sale. It takes time to do it. It's a pain in the ass. It takes me a couple of days sometimes to can for a whole day. I got to prep it one day and then can it the next day. That way you know what the hell is in your food. You know that there isn't all these other additives and crap and whatever. And God forbid, one of your jars doesn't seal. Oh, I got to eat this and put it in the fridge, eat it in the next freaking 5 days. Do it. And then you can taste what you made. Just makes sense to me.
Yes, indeed. Well, that's why I say we're going to end up back doing that anyway if this keeps on. And it ain't going to have nothing to do with Roe v. Wade.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And when I'm 58, and my auntie she inherited an orchard and a big piece of property in the middle of Michigan, in Livonia, Michigan, where they had like all kinds of apple trees and pear trees and cherry trees, and she made a big garden and whatever. And during my childhood, all the aunties and uncles and the kids and everything, we would all get together and we would can. We would can all summer long so we could all, like, make it through the winter and not have to pay the grocery prices. And, a lot of times, I was there helping them can, but, I was the oldest grandchild, so I was pretty much watching the younger kids. But I learned a little bit, but I've learned a lot now. Learn to can, dude. Just everybody. While you can still get the canners. Do it. Just do it.
Do you happen to have any instructional videos or anything?
No, I really don't have a vehicle in which to, like a camera and a stand and everything else so that I could do that.
Oh, gotcha.
I've got like an old laptop, an old tablet. I got a free tablet just recently, and a phone that just doesn't. Thank God that I'm not cutting out on you. But I'm not spending a bunch of money on electronics at this point. So no, but I'd be willing to maybe put it out there on limited access here on Odysee. Maybe I can put out, type out some recipes or some canning instructions, or I can lead you to the people that have taught me how to can.
Okay.
Homestead Heart on YouTube. She is awesome. She's like in Louisiana. She's she's a down home. She's a down home chick, and she'll make you laugh. She'll make you cry. She's awesome. Appalachia, and Sutton's Cave. These people, and then if you just go look it up and listen to them and keep going through it, and then just do it. And just do it. I can everything. I can can rice. I can can milk. I can can butter. I make my own butter. I shake it in a jar. Make my own butter and put my own salt in it and get my own buttermilk. Okay, so,
nice.
It's a little bit more spendy to buy the whipping cream, but I get buttermilk out of it and butter. When I can get that on sale with the coupons, I'm good.
There you go. And you can freeze butter.
Yes, ma'am, and I do. Yes, ma'am. That's exactly it. Because, the stuff that's coming out of Walmart right now, you freeze it within like 2 months, it tastes like ass. I'm just done. It tastes like ass. I'm like, no, I think I would rather just make my own. And I do, and it is so much better.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Indeed. Well, there's a reason for the cliche. If you want something done right, you gotta do it yourself.
Yeah, I'm trying to learn how to garden right now. I've got, and I'm getting ready to. Anybody that lives up in the Midwest, Running has a bucket sale, a 5-gallon bucket sale going on this weekend. You get the 5-gallon bucket for free. Anything you can fit in that bucket is 15% off. Take freaking advantage. I'm stocking up on seeds.
Nice.
I'm gonna strip the whole thing of seeds like I did last year. I'm stripping their whole thing of seeds, and I'm getting 15% off all of those seeds. All of the canning goods I can, any of the kitchen stuff that I can, anything that'll fit in that 5-gallon bucket. And last year, the gal that checked me through, even stuff that was in my cart, she gave me 15% off. Runnings, RUNNINGS. They're an upper Midwest company, and I know people are listening to your show that live up here. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Do it. Just do it. Put it on your credit card. That's what I'm doing. I'm going to put it on my credit card. Yeah, and I'll just pay it off. I'll pay it off. All right, my dear. It was good talking to you.
Oh, it was great talking to you, too. Thanks so much for calling and being here tonight.
All right. Well, I got to go check my canning the smoky chili.
How about that? She's listening to us while she's canning. How about that? Fantastic.
Love you, Army.
Thank you. Thank you for calling. Love you, too. And stay safe out there.
You too. Bye-bye.
Good night. All right. Shout out to Limited Access. Thank you so much for calling tonight. All right. The phone lines are open if you guys want to talk about anything else. Let's see where I was. Where was I when we were talking about that? This Bolton guy. Something fishy going on with this dude. I mean, besides the fact that he's trying to sell his books. So far, I didn't look up to see how he was doing selling his books or anything like that, but obviously it's not all that great, because this actually happened July 12th, which was what, 8 days ago? Yeah, trying to sell his book still. Speaking of that, speaking of books being sold or needing to be sold, we find out Dr. Deborah Birx, one of the experts on COOF during the Trump administration, was just in the news Monday about her new book. Dr. Birx, she said, if I'm not mistaken, Steven Crowder had a crush on her at one point. They called her the Scarf Lady and everything. He's like, oh yeah, she's a handsome woman, and if I was older and all that other stuff. Maybe he was kidding. I know he's a comedian as far as that goes too, but I don't know. You never know with him either. She has now admitted in her newest book that she took glee in subverting Trump, and even did an interview with another author in where she'd hoped that he'd lose in 2020. How much do you think she had to do with this? Deborah Birx admits she manipulated data and altered CDC guidelines to deceive President Trump. Now, why would you do that? Why would you do that? That's actually something that affected the entire United States and actually eventually the entire world. Dr. Deborah Birx, who served as the White House coronavirus response coordinator under President, they didn't even put his name in there, has admitted in a new book that she quietly called her own shots during the COVID-19 pandemic. Birx confessed to manipulating data and quietly altering CDC guidance without the administration's knowledge or authorization. In Silent Invasion, she discusses how she devised a strategic sleight of hand method of reporting she described as subterfuge. Let's see. I guess that's another person we can add to Nuremberg too, perhaps? Because those actions right there are criminal. That's all I can tell you. That's all I can think of. That's a criminal offense. And again, not only did it affect all of us Americans because of her hatred of this person, never mind what was going on or anything, this was a personal vendetta. No wonder she retired or whatever it was when she did. She didn't want to get busted. Somebody was onto her. I'll bet you any amount of money somebody was onto her. And of course, Tuesday we just talked about how she, at the same time, threw Fauci under the bus as well by claiming that this virus was a boxed and ready to go virus as soon as they were ready to do it. What else does that tell you? Let's see. You're right, sweet Rosa. She should be going to jail. Again, another candidate for Nuremberg 2. Along with Gates, Fauci, Schiff, Swalwell, anybody that did all of this crap to try and undermine a duly elected president, whether they thought so or not. All right, what's next? Oh yeah, this is great. And of course, this is another example of what Salty's been talking about with regarding to memeing the shit out of these people. This was something that came up on Liberal Hive Mind. I would look it up myself, but he already had it here, so I'm going to just give you a blurb of his, and it's not even him, it's what he put on here. Sorry about that, but of course, hats off to Liberal Hive Mind. I wish I could do 3 videos a day. I don't know how he finds these clips and everything so fast and just throughout the day. It's craziness. Maybe I just don't have the right time schedule or something. I don't know. Well, I am also taking care of a home and a husband and grown children and all that other stuff too. I do what I can with what I can. And of course, I'm still trying to keep a roof over my head too. I have an outside job. 2 of them now. But hats off to another awesome Texas representative. I've never heard of this person before. However, I found out he actually does represent an area in which I used to live in and sometimes work in, down south of Houston here. So let me show you the video, because this is how we win the war. This is how we win these people. People are really tired of the blather that's coming from these commies in office right now, because they say a whole bunch of word salad sandwiches and nothing all at the same time. It's frustrating. It really is. So watch this.
Massive hypocrite. Take a look at this little exchange.
Could you please, just in one word, let's have some fun with this. Could you please describe America to me in one single word? What would that be if you could describe America in one single word?
Well, for me, I guess home.
Home. Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, just a few weeks ago, this is how President Biden described America in one word. Could you please tell me what that word means? It's this one right here. Mm-hmm. Could you even say the word?
Congressman, I'm not in the habit of trying to read transcriptions.
I bring this.
He's not in the habit of trying to read transcriptions. Really? Does that mean he doesn't read anything that comes across his desk? Not to mention the fact that nobody'd be able to read this. I'm surprised he was even able to say it, but we go on.
It's up to you, sir. I bring this up to you because you yourself questioned Donald Trump's mental state of mind in September of 2019 when you stated to CNN, I quote, "If our presidency is not in good shape, then our country is not in good shape." And Mr. Secretary, I could not agree with you more. We now have President Biden in office for 18 months, and just recently, we now see the mainstream media questioning President Biden's mental state, and for good reason. Sadly, he shakes hands with ghosts and imaginary people. He falls off bicycles. Even at the White House Easter celebration, the Easter Bunny had to guide him back into his safe place. Cue cards that say, "sit here," or "end of speech," which he actually states. That is, if he stays awake. So my question for you is, sir, have you spoken with any other cabinet members about implementing the 25th Amendment on President Biden?
First of all, I'm glad to have a president who can ride a bicycle.
Really? That's all you have to say, Buttigieg? And the thing is the irony about this is he's not able to ride a bicycle. You saw him fall. You saw him. You see how feeble he is riding around like he needs training wheels. So no, he can't ride a bicycle. Not to mention, you remember this little asshole's bicycle debacle where he pretended that he was riding a bicycle to work? They had it in a car or some truck or something like that. They brought him out there and brought it out there so he could ride across the street for the photo op. You phony! You big fat phony! let's go on and listen to his word salad sandwich now.
And
That's the
I
question.
will look beyond the insulting nature of that question and make clear to you that the President
Have
of the United
you
States...
spoken to
Of
any other
course not.
cabinet members about implementing the 25th Amendment on President Biden?
Of course not.
Please allow the
We ought to
witness
know
Have
that
you
the
emailed,
President of
this
the
is my
United
time,
States-
have you emailed any members
President of
with
the
the
United
executive
States.
branch about the President's health or
President
cognitive
of the
decline,
United States
including
is
text
as
messages
vigorous a
from your
colleague
private
or
phone?
boss as I have
I
ever had the
figured this.
pleasure of working.
Programmed much? He tried 10 times, 5 times to get that out of there. The President of the United States is the President of the United... No nuances, no anything else, just what he was programmed to say.
What about political appointees at USDOT? Have you spoken about...
Gentleman's time has expired.
I couldn't hear the question, I'm sorry.
The man showed up with staffer.
Although you saw the memes, you saw the pictures and everything like that, and it's like getting that kind of stuff on tape and everything like that. Even if somebody watches this 10 years from now, they're gonna go, "What?" They're gonna go, "Oh my God, that's terrible! Oh my God, this guy was an idiot." So yes, the memes are working, and like I say, you saw him almost immediately go into robot mode. The president is the most. The president is the most. So yeah. So I thought you guys would enjoy that, and also too, we're proving salty correct on these things. But big hats off to that senator or that congressman from Texas. He's down in the Richmond, Sugarland, the area down there, Alvin, Sugarland, those areas down there. Like I say, I lived in the area at one time, and I also work in the Richmond area sometimes. So, we're memeing them to death, and literally, they can only sit there and smile like they understand, while we hopefully vote them the hell out of there. All right, let's see. Next. Wow, I feel like I've been talking for 4 hours, and it's only been 1. Let's see, what's happening on the chat for the moment here. Let's see, oh, hello, Hope. Welcome to the show. That's on YouTube. Something regarding feet, as in foot, is in that word multiple times. Yeah. Instead of going, he went, that is funny. That is funny. Let's see. Make bikes great again. Yes, actually, that's what they're trying to do to us, I think. When I went to China, almost everybody was on bikes out there. And only very, very privileged and high-ranky mucky people got cars or even could afford to ride the public transportation in the buses. And, of course, if you've ever seen... well, put it this way. The buses in China, if you do get to ride them, are squashed. I mean, nobody sits anywhere. Everybody's like this, and you have to squeeze your way in and out. There's people hanging on the outsides of the buses, and they still collect they still collect your 10 yen. No matter where you are on the bus. Double-deckers, the long ones with the accordion in the middle. So, yeah, the buses, the public transportation is like that in China, or it was back in '84. Let's see. Limited Access says, go to horny jail. Are you guys being naughty on my thing here? Iceburns harassing my wine drinking. Reed, hey, did you make that yourself too? Because that's always a good thing to do. That's always a good thing to do. In fact, I've got muscadines on my property, and they when I lived in Tennessee, my aunt or uncle or somebody used to always make wine out of it. Boxed Moscato. Oh! Okay, that stuff's pretty strong, isn't it? I don't drink, sorry. Undone yeah, of the America. Yep. Let's see. Chevy started streaming 74 minutes ago. Did I? Yes, I did. Maybe I did. Well, I have the thing in the front where I stream for a few minutes before I actually start the show to make sure everything's properly working. Chevy says America equals great. Yes, and it's and it's not the government and it's not the institutions. It's the people. I still have a lot of faith in the people. There's some out there, but look what we're doing to them. There's some out there that want to get rid of us, but they're literally not the majority of people, from what I can tell. They might seem like it because they're always got their mouths open and everybody's always talking about them, but they're not. They're really not the majority. I mean, I can see that when I go to work. I can see that when I go out to restaurants and hospitals and all kinds of different things. They're not a majority. They're really not. All right. All right. This is something that I told you so. Oh, wait. No. Where is it? Is this it? No. Where in the world is... Oh, here we go. Here we go. All right. Moscow says that United States must respect Russian law in the Griner case. Now, I'm going to tell you what that means. I mean, short and sassy of it, it's like Moscow's telling the United States, we don't give a shit what your laws are. We're going to do our own thing here. Which, what the fuck did you expect? Okay? Let's see. This right here says it all in this article. Russian Foreign Ministry spokeswoman Maria Zakharova said Thursday that the legalization of cannabis for medical and recreational use in parts of the United States has no bearing on what happens in Russia. All right. If a U.S. citizen was taken in connection with the fact that she was smuggling drugs, and she does not deny this, which we know she pled guilty, trying to get a lesser sentence, as if that would work, in Russia of all places, then this should be commensurate with our Russian local laws and not with those adopted in San Francisco, New York, and Washington, Zakharova said. You understand, if drugs are legalized in the United States, in a number of states, and this is done for a long time, and now the whole country will become drug addicted, this does not mean that all other countries are following the same path, she added. Russian media have persistently speculated that Griner could be exchanged for prominent Russian arms trader Viktor Bout, who is imprisoned in the United States, and that Paul Whelan, an American imprisoned Russian for espionage, may also figure in an exchange. So we're going to give them back their criminals, although she's supposedly a criminal in their case also. Now, this actually, to some people, seems petty. A lot of people are saying, "Oh, she's a war prisoner of war, because of what's going on in Ukraine and everything like that." But I still think there's more to it, and it seems petty. It may seem petty, but if it was the left that kept blaming, it was the left that kept blaming everything going on wrong here in the States on Russians. I mean, President Biden just said a couple of days ago, "Russia, Russia, Russia." You don't think they're listening to us over here about that kind of stuff? All right? So this person ain't going anywhere until they say so. Guarantee it. And the more we keep blaming them for shit, I think the more they're going to try and just hang on to her and just drag their feet and you know what I'm saying? So yeah, stupid politicians, the media and the fame whores keep blaming Russia for everything, and you'll never see this person on United States soil again. They don't play like the rest of us do. They don't have this lackadaisical bullshit. Oh, no bail. Oh, he only did this because he was oppressed when they did this, and oh, he only, he can make an excuse even though he killed people. He can get off, or he's not capable of standing trial, and just letting everybody off for things like this. Not even going to trial. And I told you before in the last show about this when I talked about her. Pleading guilty doesn't even work here in the States. You still will get punished if you plead guilty. So what makes you think it's going to be any better in Russia, of all places? I mean, come on. Nobody thinks beyond their nose anymore, I don't think. See, Now, am I condoning this, what's going on with Russia? No, not really. But I also live in reality. And I am very aware of what true tyranny is and what dictatorships are. No such thing as a benevolent. No such thing as a benevolent. Talking in Bugs Bunny speak here. Dictator or sole ruler. There never has been. There never will be. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. In fact, I think I heard somebody on the MG show mention that again the other day. And don't forget, a guilty plea never gets you off of anything. It doesn't even happen here. So how would you expect it to happen in other countries that don't really have the same rights and types of laws that we do? It's not going to happen. I don't understand why these people think that because they can get away with it here, they can get away with it anywhere. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, Sweet Rosa. Team reality. Team reality. Chevy says the U.S. drug laws need modification. Maybe so. But they're still not going to modify any laws for Russia or any other country. That's the point here. That's why I say I can't imagine anybody expecting anything better in Russia, in commie Russia. Duh. And again, no other country, and she's right, no other country is going to change their laws in accordance with the United States. None. And because of what's going on over there, and the fact that I'm sure that the fact that we've armed a country against them is not helping either. Just saying. Okay. Let me see. Saw that. Saw that. All right. I've seen this a couple of times, but I just thought maybe I'd rub it in just a little bit. Our friends to the north, in fact, if Anger Bang is out there, or what's the other? There's another one that's from Canada that watches all of us and everything, and is part of the. I don't even know what we call ourselves. What are we? The pond? Let's see. Yes, please hit the fire button. Iceburn, I do like that. Patriot boner. Oh, Rocky! How are you doing, Rocky? The Drunken Rocky is here. Don't forget, he's got a show right after mine to kind of decompress. A lot of funny shit. They tell jokes. They give each other shit. They drink. They smoke. They watch funny videos. They watch silly videos. They watch... Some of this stuff is quite annoying, but still funny nonetheless. So yeah, make sure to check out the Drunken Rocky show at the Drunken Rocky on Odysee. Right after I sign off here in about... Wow, I still got 40 minutes. I literally feel like I've been talking forever. Let's see. Here's what I heard. Have you watched Red Dawn? We are coming closer to that. Chi-Com's bought land next to the Air Force Base 100 miles north of me. Wow. I do get to watch Red Dawn, but I am so busy doing my own stuff, sometimes I don't get to. I saw him last night, but I don't remember him mentioning that. I'll have to go back and look. Yeah, that's the truth. I'm not going to repeat that. If you want to see this Odysee thing, go over to the Odysee chat. There are some really dank memes going on over there, in here. White pills, baby. Okay, there you go. Yeah, put your link out. Well, actually, all you have to do is just click on his name. And he's going to be doing... What do you call that? The Drunken Rants. Okay. The Drunken Rocky. He's actually one of the people that are on the roundtables on Tuesday evenings with us. In fact, I actually, hopefully, will be able to add my 2 cents this Saturday. I actually have the evening off of work for a Saturday night for a change. So, and we had... Oh, Red Dawn the movie. Okay. Yeah. I think I saw that back in the 80s. Wasn't that... Oh, Tiger Blood. If I can't remember their name, I give them a nickname. That's how I can tell I'm getting old. All right. Anyway, this is Justin Trudeau. He's one of the ones now that has gotten to the point where he can't go anywhere without people bothering him or heckling him or telling him he's a piece of garbage. So enjoy.
Communist pig! That's what you are!
Seems to be, huh?
You drink my hand holding a freedom flag! Are you 20-second, you communist? Go, Trudeau, you're nothing but a communist pig! That's what you are! You're disgusting! He should resign!
Free our political prisoners.
You're disgusting! Communist! 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 Your 20-second is finished! Go back to China, you lover!
Great to see you here. Great to see so many people understand here. So many happy people here. I'm glad to hear that my son Xavier as well. I know you're all watching out here with families as well. This is a moment to gather and to celebrate being able to gather once again. Communist. No, why not?
Even the dog's barking at him.
You piece of goddamn you. We are never, ever coming down. Ever. I ain't getting vaccinated,
You preach the whole wild world about freedoms. How come freedom fighters for the convoy are still in jail? Why? Prime Minister, any answers? Any answers for disrupting the lives of so many Canadians for the last 20 years?
Canada is communist.
Canada's crazy.
They're they got to get rid of that guy.
How much time does he have? I feel like he's been prime minister for a while. Am I wrong?
I don't know. I don't know how their system works up there. I have zero understanding of their system. And then during the pandemic, I'm like, oh, you're a dictator.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't like criticism. You're trying to shut down criticism by saying that all your critics are misogynists and racists.
Yeah.
You hear he said that about the trucking people, the truckers?
He called them
all misogynists and racists.
Oof.
Yeah, he's gross. He's a sketchy guy.
Yeah.
And he's got some shaky deals. I would like to see where the money is coming from. Why do you want everybody to get injected every 4 months? They don't need that anymore. What are we doing? What are you doing? You can't even get into Canada unless you're vaccinated.
Can't get in?
No.
Not to mention the fact that how many times has he done blackface? But that's okay. And you notice he walks by smugly as they call him these names. This doesn't affect him because he knows I'm not going anywhere. It doesn't matter what these people say. He's not going anywhere. Look at him, the way he walks around smugly. Yeah, okay. Call me whatever you want. I'm still going to be in charge. Yeah, whatever. And that's how he treats everybody. Everything, too. And he's also come out and said how much he absolutely adores China because their dictatorship promotes freedom. That's the stupidest fucking thing I've ever heard anybody say about anything. But this also tells me that they are getting by on word salad sandwiches a lot of time. Their dictatorship allows more freedom. Did anybody buy that? Anybody? Maybe that's the reason why people are calling him commie or ridiculing him as he's going out. But you saw what was it, 7 different instances. The man can't even have a lunch on by himself. But if he wasn't such a dictator, he probably wouldn't have that problem now, would he? Lived in Canada for a few years. It sucked. Well, I've heard that it's uber cold up there, even in the summertime. They pretty much have a liberal system, plus also, too, they're like, no, they don't have the Second Amendment. They don't even have the First Amendment. In fact, I've heard him get on TV. I've heard him get on some of these videos and say that too. You don't have the right to own a firearm for your own protection. Really? So according to their law, you're just supposed to sit back and let people do whatever the fuck they're gonna do to you without, oh yeah, go ahead, tie me down, rip my clothes off, rip my shit out of my pockets, go take my wife, go, whatever. So there's laws up there that you literally cannot protect yourself or your family or your wife or your kids or whatever like that. You just got to let whoever it is assault you or whatever they're going to do to you. Even shoot you. Hit you with a hammer, bow and arrow, machete. You got to just sit there and take it. That sucks. That's the biggest suck right there. And on top of that, again, don't say anything or else. Or else what? This motherfucker's already ruined my life. Why are you holding back? Or else. Let's see. Limited Access says, Hell's Bells lady, I live in South Dakota. It's 50 below here for weeks, but we love our guns. There you go. There you go. That's what I say. It's too cold up there. In fact, sometimes it's too cold where I live. But only in the winter. And so, not all the time. Let's see. I can't really read that. I'd have to bring that up. If you could just go. Oh, okay. Yeah, the difference. A 51-year-old vegan and a 51-year-old TV star that actually eats meat and butter and chocolate and desserts and stuff. She's hot. This other lady looks like she's 90. So, something's wrong with that picture, too. Thank God I don't look like the lady on the right. I don't look like the lady on the left. I don't look exactly like the lady on the right, but I don't look anything like the lady on the left either. But then again, I eat meat and I have a good time. I do eat some veggies, but you got to be a balance. There's got to be a balance. I'm a big baby. Why am I a big baby? What did I do now? Loves me some bows and arrows, even if a range here in town. Guns and bows, let's hunt. Yeah. Yeah, let's hunt. We're going to have to. I hope they don't outlaw that. Of course, you got Biden up there talking about, oh, the deers don't wear Kevlar. No shit, Sherlock. Not to mention the fact with the guns he's talking about taking away go through Kevlar anyway. The deers don't wear Kevlar. Ugh, cringe. Not to mention stupid. That was another dumb comment. Another dumb comment. Again, did anybody buy that? Most people, in fact, I would venture to say most people were probably snickering at that one because it was a stupid comment. It's like, what are you drinking with the boys while you're saying stupid shit like this? Speaking of that person in the White House, we're finding out now that he might be very ill. He basically said that he had cancer, like a whole bunch of other people in his hometown or home state did. And of course, immediately the White House is like, well, you know, he had, what was it? Let me read my notes here. He claims to have had cancer. They claim skin cancer that was actually benign, which means he didn't have cancer. If it's benign, then it's not cancer. Okay. But yeah. Which means they played themselves again after he made his gaffe, or whatever you want to fucking call it. So, who do we believe now? Ain't none of them telling the truth. In fact, I'd never believe Joe. I've seen how many times he's lied throughout his entire life. I mean, even to the point where he plagiarized in school, lied about that, and then lied about what his status was in school when he graduated with 2.5 degrees or 3 degrees when he actually barely even made one, and he was in the bottom half of his, not even in the bottom half, he was in the bottom third of his class. Like, what was it, 78 out of 98 or something like that? Or I don't even remember, but I know it was the lower number. So, Sweet Rosa says they also, yes, I'm getting to that. That was another thing also too. Almost immediately they claim that he has tested positive for COOF. Now, didn't he just come back from somewhere? And didn't Kamala actually catch COOF right after coming back from somewhere too? In another country or whatever? Of course. And of course, Salty had to get on right away and say that the statement from the president was false, which I'm sure it was. If that's the case, Salty would, it seems like Salty would know. But yeah, they say that he's got the COOF now too, and supposedly he is quarantining at the White House or convalescing at the White House, whatever, which I'm actually surprised he didn't go home, but they probably wouldn't let him on the plane if he actually has COOF. But yeah, who do we believe? Who do we believe on this? In fact, I think it was Jimmy Dore. It was either Jimmy Dore or Liberal Hive Mind that actually put a montage together of all of the Pinocchios that he's gotten from the newspapers from all of the shit that he's claimed. And of course, the meme going around now is where he says, oh, if you take these vaccinations and everything like that, you won't get the COOF. You won't get it. You got to take the vaccinations, you won't get it. And he has been quadrupled, 2 shots and 2 boosters, quadrupled with the COOF shots or whatever you want to call them. But now he has the COOF. But whenever he's not doing well, or whenever he's taking time off or something like that, or convalescing, he usually goes home. Doesn't he? To Delaware or whatever it is. In fact, he's over there most of the time. Every weekend, we're paying for him to go home. So yeah, he's convalescing in the White House. That's another thing that makes me doubt it. And then you got Jean-Pierre, the new press secretary, gets on there and says, oh yeah, he's still working real hard, and he's still seeing people, and he's still, and it's like, well, wait a minute, does he have COOF or not? Because anybody else that has COOF, they're quarantined, you can't get near anybody. You can't go to work, you can't do nothing, don't leave your house. So why is he still seeing people? Why is he still working if he's actually got COOF? So I don't believe that either. So, and we know also too that the media and the administration lies for him as well, or spins shit, or are constantly having to do damage control. So yeah, we can't believe any of these people at all. So what do you guys think? Do you think he has the COOF or cancer or not? Who do you believe? There's an aide that says he needs medication before speaking, or he is like a child. Oh yeah, I read about that too. Supposedly somebody caught it on camera that Dr. Jill was giving it to him. But it doesn't surprise me, and that was actually something that I mentioned with regards to supposedly pooing in front of the Pope a year ago or whenever it was. It didn't surprise me, because at his age, you know damn well, he's probably gumming whatever food that he has, so he eats mush. He's probably taking buku pills that God only knows what is liquefying the inside of his body. And old people tend to have less control of their sphincter. So yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. In fact, it would surprise me if he didn't. My mother has dementia and it's really sad. This is elder abuse. Yes, I agree. It is. It's elder abuse. Not only is it elder abuse, it's a blight on the American people. It shows that it's literally showing the rest of the world that we would do this, or that they would do this just to stay in power. Not to mention the fact how many people across the earth now are just doing nothing but laughing at him. I saw footage of the people in Saudi Arabia after he begged them for more oil, and they said no. Pretty much laugh at him because because of the way his aides rushed the press out of there, like as if they were all school children. Okay, get in line, everybody. Time to go on our field trip. You guys got to go now. Come on, we're gonna be late. Come on. They don't. Well, of course, they're not used to that kind of thing either. Their leadership there, they say and do what they're going to do and say. They don't have handlers. They might have aides and stuff like that, but their aides aren't going to tell anybody what to do like they do these people. And so I say the rest of the world is laughing at us because we're showing extreme weakness. And he's a feeble old man. It's not something that can actually be helped as far as on his part. But if he has to take that much medication just to function, how many other jobs would let that happen? At that point, even in a regular job, like if you had a forklift operator or something like that, you'd be put on disability at that point and made to retire. You know, airline pilots, anybody dealing with anything of any kind of responsibility. And this man is supposedly the most powerful man on the planet? I shudder to think. Not to mention, like I said before, you heard everybody else, they were always questioning Trump's ability and his cognitive ability, and he aced the tests every time they gave him to them. And they were still saying how incompetent he was. I didn't see it, did you? Of course, the phone lines are still open, and I'll stay on as long as we get phone calls and stuff like that. Yes, Joe is not cool. Chevy says Joe ain't cool. He really is not cool. He never has been. He never has been. Like I say, he has been a liar his entire life. He still, to this day, does nothing but lie. And, of course, the funniest part about that whole thing is the fact that they cannot figure out why his ratings are so low. How many people do you know that let people lie to them more than 3 or 4 times before saying, bye? Or just not believing what they have to say and going their own way and doing whatever they want to anyway. I don't know very many people that would allow someone to lie to them more than twice before stepping back and saying, yeah, no, that person's not going to be a part of my life anymore. I can't trust them. So, yeah, I'm not surprised. Totally not surprised that nobody trusts this motherfucker. Especially if they are reading the newspapers and stuff like that. Even the mainstream press is supposedly going after him for all of this stuff now. Which I don't understand. If nobody watches them, how is it now all of a sudden that the lower ratings and everything like that? And of course, everything's fixed. Everything's fixed. This should tell you, and this is another thing. This is another one of those things where they do this kind of stuff over and over and over again. When they make a mistake, instead of admitting the mistake and trying to remedy it, they double down on it, and then they go a completely and totally other way, which usually ends up backfiring on them. Hence, who we have in office right now, even if you do believe that he won. It's crazy. It's crazy. And like I say, they spin and spin and spin and spin. And, you can only spin so far before it's right back to where it was before. Right? 360? Does anyone else listen to Schwab and cringe at his voice and messaging? Just asking. He reminds me of the people that used to make fun of the 1930s Germans or whatever like that, like in cartoons or like in storybooks, things like, comedy, things like that and stuff like that. I think Benny Hill did some stuff. Monty Python did some stuff like that. or a supervillain. Almost, almost, but not quite as comedic as Dr. Evil. Mike Myers is. The only difference is that this guy is actually serious, and he's not holding anything for ransom or anything like $1 million. That was so funny. But yeah, he reminds me of dastardly comic book villain that's actually in real life. So yeah, get him his cat. The Bond villain. Who's the Bond villain? He could be. Or like the evil. Oh, I'm your ninja. Welcome to the show. New face in my chat. Welcome to the show. Thank you for coming. Or like the evil dude from Gadget. Yeah, but you never saw his face. Did he have an accent too? I don't remember. Maybe in the cartoon. That was one of my favorite cartoons. I used to love Inspector Gadget. Of course, as an artist, I still enjoy all kinds of animation and everything. To me, that's art. And if you can make it tell a story or invoke any kind of emotions, you've done a really good job in your art. Let's see. Hope says, the people in power think that we are children unable to manage our lives, thus they do so for us. Well, not on my watch. Can you imagine a Joe Biden full Monty? I was going to say, just look at Hunter. They both seem to have the same body type. So if you want to see Joe a little younger, just look at the Hunter files. Doesn't he do everything naked? It's like instead of hanging out at the hotels, you would think he'd be at a nudist colony or something all the time. And I was going to say, I've never known anybody except for people on... and this is just a few people that I've ever seen on Instagram that actually film themselves doing drugs. And it's usually the pot smokers. Or the shatter, or whatever it is that in the little thing where they spin the top and all this other. It's like... Not to mention the fact, I'm thinking to myself, these people take... This was something I always asked myself too. When you do wax like that, and I've watched these people, they literally take more in than they can hold. And it's almost like as if they're wasting it, because they take it all in, they can't hold it, and all of a sudden it just all... Aren't you supposed to hold it in or something? Okay, boomer, yes, I know. But yeah, they take it like... And it just, they can't hold it in, and it's just this huge cloud of smoke. It engulfs the entire room, and it's like, really? You and I've never ever seen anybody smoke the wax or whatever it is any other way. Is that how you have to smoke like that? Somebody please tell me, because I don't know nothing about that shit. Klaus is a Rothschild. Yes, of course he is. Of course he is. Goldfinger Bond villain, yeah. Okay, well, if he does have Koof, I'm not a hater. Okay, I hate his policies, but I don't hate him. He's a human being, child of God, etc. and etc. You hate the sin, not the sinner, etc. etc. So if he does have Koof or he does have cancer, I hope he gets better, because well, I've been through Koof, my husband's been through Koof, and actually it does seem to affect men a lot more violently. And he is of a predisposed age, if you will, that if he does have Koof, it could hurt him terminally. And of course, whoever it was that made the fake Trump statement, I'm with him on the bottom part of it where he says, nobody wants Kamala. She's another word salad sandwich stripper. In fact, that's the first time I ever knew any kind of stripper or anything like that. My brother dated one, and she literally would come home and talk for over an hour and say absolutely nothing. I didn't learn anything from her, what she said. I had no idea what she was talking about most of the time, and she just went on and on and on and on and on. Kamala reminds me of the typical stripper. Says absolutely nothing, but talks for an hour. Takes all kinds, I guess. But, like I say, if he's got the cancer, and of course I know how bad, painful, and everything that cancer can be too, if that's the case. But, again, it doesn't sound like any of it was real or is real. There's something else going on. I don't know what. I couldn't begin to tell you. Of course, we'll find out. It's probably something that they've done before. Little bits and pieces will start coming out. Listen real closely to the aides and the press and all these other people. They'll let it out. They always do. Even if they don't say it, a lot of times now they're so predictable most of the time. We can read between the lines. Or we should be able to anyway. Right, just looked up Gadget's villain and you don't see the face. Yeah, you never do see his face. That was one of the whole hooks, I think, of the Gadget series. You don't ever see the villain's face. Let's see. Did I go through that? I went through that. Yeah, I thought I had more. I really and truly feel like I've been talking for a long time, much longer than usual. If anybody wants to call in real quick and espouse their opinion. Did I say that right? No, I didn't say that right. Because I'm a blonde. Yeah, yeah. Actually, I'm a silver. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The blonde is actually coloring. The what you see on top is natural, which is white. Silver and white. Premature gay. Premature gay. Premature gray, though. I've been actually going gray since I was about 13 years old, and I've had white streaks. There's actually pictures of me on the internet back in the 90s where I had this big white streak. Everybody used to call me Bonnie Raitt. It's like, hers is on the other side. I even had a hairdresser once tell me, because she wanted to know did I want hair highlights. I told her, I said, no, highlights won't be necessary. Just lighten the rest of it. And she looked at it after she finished it, and she says, she says, you don't need highlights. You actually have natural highlights, and if you lighten the rest of it, you got, you're blonde, but then you got really, really high highlights. It's like, she's like, oh, you're brilliant. It's like, no, I'm just built that way. Not to mention the fact that just a color or just a lightening cost $50. The highlights were $175. So, which one do you think I would have chosen? It was Schwab the whole time. Yep, I'm your ninja. All right, don't forget. Oh, Hallie, how are you? You're late to the show today. I'm getting ready to sign off in about 10 minutes. But welcome. It's good to see you. I appreciate you coming, and I still have 10 minutes if you want to call in and talk about. We've been talking about everything from the... a synopsis would be, we're not going to become the Handmaid's Tale because of Roe v. Wade. We're going to become the Handmaid's Tale because all of these men are taking our awards, our first place, our places on magazines, cover magazines, our modeling, our contest, our pageants, our sports, even Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition. That's what's going to cause us to be in the Handmaid's Tale, be like the Handmaid's Tale, because the only thing that women will be good for at that point is going to be procreation, because men have basically taken over all the women's positions in that aspect. Had to do a ton of work. Yes, we were doing a ton of work. And of course, we also talked about whether or not Joe Biden has the coof or cancer. We also talked about the basketball player that is in Russia. The Russians don't give a shit what our laws are. They're going to go by their laws, and she has to obey their laws. So the fact that we're legal here doesn't mean that that's going to influence them at all whatsoever. Not to mention the fact that she has already admitted to doing so. You're on the air.
Hi, it's Hallie. Hi. Yeah, I just maybe chat just for a few minutes because I just had a ton of work and battling heat exhaustion on top of it. I just want to tell you the subject, the whole I thought, I realized at some point that you're not going to win over a lot of these young girls, these young women. I had an argument with one of them about this whole trans business, and they kept saying it's a real woman. I don't want to bore you with the details. It was some Jewish magazine someone was putting out. They wanted to have like alternate voices, and then they couldn't understand why people would buy the magazine. And I said it's because, the very religious community isn't going to buy it, but you have a trans woman on your staff. I think that's also, and oh boy, did I get flamed. And these are like, I don't know, these are women I thought would, one of them said she agreed with me 100%, but the others, I felt like it was something out of the Twilight Zone. Their lack of logic, they just kept saying, it's a real woman, it's a real woman. So it seems like you're saying this is the gist of your conversation, what I missed earlier in the day, in the evening. I just want to say that it's really, I realize it's really going to, I don't want to say a losing battle, but an uphill. I don't understand how young people can be so brainwashed. I don't know are they just stupid? I can't figure it out.
Well, a lot of them don't know any better. They haven't had the experience, and they really and truly are just listening to someone else at this point. It sounds like it. Yeah. Ironically, the editor was really upset. She wrote and said, "Is it only because I had a transgender, one of the contributors, or is it because of the magazine?" I said, it was everything. That to me was, you have these women that are, that just sounded confused. And I said pseudo women, which is what this person was, but they seem to just be doing their own thing. I think it stems from the fact that maybe Americans just have too much freedom. I love this country, land of the free, yada yada, but maybe just because we threw out the Judeo-Christian framework. Yeah, well, I don't think it's too much freedom. I think it's that they're now using our freedoms against us in this aspect of it, and we just have to continue to exercise our own freedoms as well, and just say no. We don't have to do it meanly. We don't have to do it rudely, but if these people want all of this stuff, one of my points was that they should have their own categories in all of this stuff. Stop taking it away from others. You have rights to have rights, but you don't have the right to take anyone else's rights away because of it. Period.
Well, it could be. I think what it could be is also just these people are probably misfits in some way. So
not an excuse.
Only a country like ours can you find alternate modes of expression. Other countries, other cultures are far more rigid. So, like you said, paradoxically, they're enjoying the freedom to be whatever you want, but not but trying to oppose it, trying to change society. Even though it's the very society that granted them the freedom. Mm-hmm. So the whole thing, I would say it's maybe ironic, but at the same time, I really at this point, social media is not the place to have arguments anyway. And I've really come to see it. I just don't understand how their thinking got so distorted. But I don't know how some might outgrow it. I don't know.
Well, they might. They might. A lot of times, people have to learn the hard way. And I think a lot of these are like this because of the fact that they haven't experienced what they're claiming to fight against for others, which is the oppression and all that other crap.
Yeah, exactly. They're naive, dangerously so. But
well, it's throwing us backwards. And actually, Sweet Rosa says that Shakespeare, and I actually mentioned this earlier, it's a lot of it also, too, they don't realize and know the history of it either.
Yeah.
Like back in the Shakespearean days, women weren't allowed to even go to the theater, much less act. So who had to do the acting for the female parts? Men.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Well, this ironically, this magazine arose in response to some very religious publications in Jewish when we would show a woman's face, they feel it distract the men or arouse them. So this was a reaction. This is the magazine's garbage that they put out.
Yeah.
But but the irony is that they don't realize this is the very reason that I mean, if you don't like that society, just find another one. But they don't realize that you have the freedom to to choose or do other things. Anyways, I got to get it's late. I got to get back here to the salt mines here. I've got some work, and I do want to call in. And
okay, well, don't work too hard. Don't work too hard, and thanks so much for calling.
Okay, great. Have a nice night.
You have a great night.
It must be really hot. Text. Okay, thanks.
What's
Bye-bye.
that? What were you saying? I'm sorry. Oh, she's gone already. That's okay. Great call. Great call. Appreciate it. You brought me to the end of my show. I hope everybody has a great night. I'm going to be working on the video. Hopefully they don't split this video in half and I can just download it and re-upload it real quick. I'm still working on last week's video and everything like that, but I do appreciate everybody being here tonight. I didn't even bother to look and see how many people were here tonight. We got into 24 people. That's way more than I usually have. I'm pretty sure X Truth is on tonight. I think I might actually head over to his show in a little while, maybe while I'm downloading this thing. Although when I download, like I said before, I've got shitty internet, so when I download his anything that I watch kind of buffers, so it's going to be tough. But I'll try to do that anyway. Maybe I'll be in the chats. I do appreciate and enjoy his show. I'm hoping one day he might actually call me. I've actually called him on his show one day. Maybe I'll get him to call me one day. And of course, collabs are always great. Don't forget the Drunken Rocky show coming up right after this on the Drunken Rocky channel on Odysee. He's the white pill master, I guess you could say. Like I say, it's like a decompression kind of thing. Kind of funny stuff and good stuff and memes and stuff that makes you laugh and sigh and all of that and go damn, and they joke around with each other and they drink whiskey and stuff, I think, or wine or whatever, and they get a little rowdy and they fuck with each other and everything like that. It's a fun show. Go see the Drunken Rocky show, and of course he's part of the Roundtable Distraction on Tuesdays and Saturday nights on Raynoth's channel on Odysee. Make sure you come and visit us there. And of course, you can support me 24/7. I've got links in all of my descriptions and also on my channels as far as that goes. You can buy me a coffee. You can send me a tip on, what is it, PayPal? Yeah. You can also always support me here on Odysee. And, of course, sharing and commenting and getting the group, the views up and everything like that. Every little bit helps me to grow. And again, I want to thank everybody for the generosity I have. I'm almost right there to be able to afford the chair that I need so that I can actually do more work. And of course, work more so that I can get more equipment and do more of these things and try to help fight everything going on. But mainly, you know what my thing is to try and get the word out and everyone to exercise their freedom of speech, because without that, we won't have any of our other rights. And they're taking them away, and we can't let them, period. So keep the memes going, keep the chatter going, make sure that you support all the people on the schedule that just came up on the chat in Odysee. I do appreciate you guys all for being here tonight. Please share, and just keep exercising all of your rights, man. Especially the freedom of speech. I think that's what a lot of social media should be used for. And of course, you won't ever win any arguments or anything like that, but you still got your voice out there, and you never know who's watching and who might agree with you. You never know. You just never know. So far, from what I can tell, between Salty and all the rest of us and everything like this has turned into a movement. And it may not seem like it, but because they keep doubling down and everything like that, but because of the fact that they have to, we are. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for being here tonight. We appreciate everybody. I appreciate all the tips. I appreciate all the shares. I appreciate all the comments and the calls. We will see you again on next Thursday. I'll be on the Roundtable on Saturday, I'm pretty sure, at 10 o'clock, and of course always on Tuesdays. And I also try to get in on Pastor Chatelet's every once in a while. He's on 24/7. There's always somebody there to talk to you, help you, or make you laugh, or whatever you want. So make sure you support everybody, all of the indies, because we are becoming the new media. And the news actually happens with us, not what the people, the talking heads, are telling us. All right, much love to everybody. Appreciate you being here. You guys have a great week. I'll see you next Wednesday, or no, I'll see you Saturday at Reynos. I'll see you Tuesday at Reynos, and then again next Thursday right here on the Talk to Me America show, where the world wants to know what you have to say. So call me and tell them like it is. Thanks again, everybody. I appreciate you. Have a great night. Until next time, AMF.